everyone, this is Boricua Binks and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth, where we are in the beginning of the 5th case of the game, Turnabout Ablaze. Let's continue on. Alright, so we already spoke to Franziska and this man, I believe. How do I... Oh. I forgot how to play this game. Oh, okay, Binks. I was like, why can't I move? Didn't we finish talking to him already? Yeah, I think we did. Okay. So let's investigate this area. What's this? The ceiling fan must have fallen from the ceiling.
A ceiling fan? What does one of those do?
Oh my god, Gumshoe, no! I know you're a little slow on the uptake, buddy, but oh wow, that's sad. Exactly what it sounds like it does. It's a fan that is installed on one ceiling.
Well, if I had one of those in my room, I bet I'd go dizzy from staring at it as I slept.
Detective Gumshoe, in the real world, we close our eyes when we sleep. That's a little scary if you don't. Alright. He's being really silly.
Yes, sir?
Alright. While you were on guard duty, did you notice anything unusual?
Well, I was on watch inside the embassy, but unfortunately, I didn't run into the Yatagarasu, sir. But I did talk to an officer who was on duty near the border between the two embassies, who told me that not a single person crossed the boundary during the incident.
I see.
The investigations into the fire and the Yatagarasu are a mess thanks to both events. I'm so confused, sir.
Isn't that your usual state of being?
Should I be putting the fire out or investigating? What do you think, sir?
Aren't you old enough to solve your own problems yet, detective? No, he needs Daddy Edgeworth to help him. I'm sorry. Oh my. The implications of that name. I'd like an update on how the investigation is going.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's going, sir.
In other words, no one has any idea of what happened here, correct?
To put it simply, yeah, you got it, sir. But we do know that something happened in this room, sir.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious considering there's a dead body here. Gumshoe, please. Any moron with a pair of eyes can see what happened, detective.
Ah. Well, anyway, let's investigate every single nook and cranny in this room, sir.
That's my catchphrase, you bastard.
We have to get serious, or Kay will end up getting arrested as the killer.
Yes, I am already well aware of that.
Oh.
In order to find out what really happened here in this room, we will need to gather whatever information we can. It's time to take a good look. Alright, you're useless as usual, buddy. I love you, but you are. You just are. Let's start at this side, actually. It looks like this was once a grandfather clock, but it has fallen victim to the fire.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, is it okay for me to talk about the clocks in my house, sir?
No. If they're unrelated to the case, I hope that you will refrain from sharing, but...
Well, there's this one clock that I made by myself, but...
Okay, that's enough, detective. We don't need to hear this. Huh. I'm curious what he was gonna say. Alright, let's see. These shelves are lined with American souvenirs and memorabilia. I almost said memorabilia. Moo! Moo! Okay.
It's really strange, isn't it? I mean, I thought this was the Bobolese embassy. So, why are there so many American souvenirs, sir?
Perhaps the Bobolese are studying American culture and our tourism industry. If they have plans to make the Bobolese tourism industry truly flourish, then they would need to observe and study other countries' methods, I suppose.
Speaking of tourism, I got these from the blonde guy earlier, sir. He said that if I bring these with me to the ball, I can trade them in for a few buffets. It's practically money.
Oh, so how do you expect to travel to Babal?
Well, the whole world is connected by the ocean, sir. And for an all-you-can-eat buffet, I'd swim all the way to Babal if I have to.
Can a few simple coupons really motivate people to do such fantastic things? More like desperation and starvation can motivate people to do fantastic things. This poor man. All he wants is food.
Mr. Edgeworth, there's still something on this display rack, sir.
Knives, huh? Although the blades are all that remain of them, unfortunately.
I guess the handles all got burnt off by the fire.
Ugh. So, even the knives fell victim to the fire. Ambassador Paleno, are these knives yours? Why, yes, they are. They are a special set of ornamental knives featuring the national symbol of Babal. These butterfly-themed knives, along with Alabast's own set of knives, are comprised of 3 knives each. But I can't believe the Bobolese ones have been reduced to this state. Ornamental knives, huh? Too bad it's not something less deadly like plates. There's a small release on the tang of this blade. Ambassador Paleno, what is this notch here for? Oh, that. It's a feature of these knives wherein you can freely exchange the handles on them. So that we can change how they look to fit the situation, of course. I see. So these knives were constructed so that the handles could be easily removed. Okay. Let's look at the statue. Ooh, I moved too much. Sorry. Because this is a national treasure, can I ask that you please not touch it? I'm afraid the only ones allowed to touch it are myself and the Secretariat.
Hold
But there is a possibility that it is related to the murder, wouldn't you agree?
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, why don't we give up for now? We can force them to let us investigate it later when we find some solid proof.
You know, he has a good point for once. I suppose I don't have a choice here. This must be one of the prima doc statues Kay was talking about earlier. Prima docs or prima do? Prima do. Is it just me, or does this man look just like the Steel Samurai? They could be twins. Instant fan, Edgeworth? Hehehe. Alright. I think it's prima docs because when I see do is usually like D-E-A-U-X, I think, or do. I don't know, like French is the one language I'm not that good at. Do I have to look at the symbol? Yeah, might as well.
Hey, it's another butterfly.
I believe it is the symbol of the Republic of Babal. Yeah, alright. A drawing of this big on the wall of an embassy, it definitely conveys a sense of overwhelming patriotism.
Well, I've got a lot of patriotism too, sir, to Japanifornia. The reason I became a cop in the first place was because I wanted to protect our country.
You may want to, Detective. However, I have yet to see the fruits of your desire.
You don't have to be so blunt about it, sir. I got plenty of fruits, like lemons and, watermelons and cherries.
Uh-huh. So, our victim was the secretariat of this embassy, I take it.
Manny Cochin. I heard that he was an admirable person. Very admirable.
Yeah, for a murderer. The cause of death is a stab to the base of his neck. He was lax in watching his back.
We were fortunate that the fire missed our victim's body for the most part. If the fire had burned a bit longer, it would have made identifying him a hassle.
So Mr. Cochin was stabbed to death in the middle of a raging fire. What in the world happened inside this room? Good question. Won't rest? Yes, every nook and cranny. I know. Alright, we'll look at him. There appears to be something in his pocket. This key. It can't be. Isn't this the Yatagarasu's key that was stolen 7 years ago?
What? But that's...
Huh? 7 years ago? Oh! You mean that case where I was framed, sir?
Yes, it's the piece of evidence that stole the life of Kay's father 7 years ago, which was then stolen by Callisto Yu.
What? Mr. Faraday was killed with this key, sir? I thought he was killed with a knife. Eee!
Scruffy, at the very least, try to remember the details of crimes you were a suspect in.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a suspect a lot, you know? They never show it, but it happens all the time.
Francisca, as you will recall, Detective Gumshoe was not present when Miss Yu made her escape. Plus, even among law enforcement, only a few knew of this key's existence. I doubt that a new rookie at the time would have been made privy to such knowledge.
I feel like the victim right now. All trampled on, sir.
I suppose I'll just have to fill you in now. The secret to this key is... Oh, we have to actually do this again? Okay. Oop.
Oh! Wow, that's amazing, sir. It's like some kind of magic trick.
Okay. I knew it. This is the same exact piece of evidence that Miss Yu took with her. I remember this beautiful pattern in the blade.
I remember this as well. It's a vine motif, isn't it?
Yes, it looks like 2 interwoven vines crisscrossing down the blade.
Fine, sirs? I think it looks like a bunch of stars, if you ask me. It's one of those 6-sided stars, just like the police mark on our IDs.
I really don't think you can call these stars. To say that the detective's art sense is underdeveloped would be an understatement.
The real question is why was the Babalese embassy secretariat holding this?
Well, we don't know how Mr. Cochin came to possess this key. We do know that this was stolen by the Yatagarasu from the Kudopian embassy.
That's right. Mr. Faraday had written that down in his organizer.
I believe this means that further research is required into the country of Kudopia.
Why don't you ask Ambassador Paleno about what he knows? Supposedly, he was a candidate to be the next Kudopian ambassador once long ago. He should be able to answer any specific questions you may have.
Okay, we will in a minute. Anything else? Is he holding anything? Money Cochin. I've seen him before. He was the suspect in the KG8 incident. And I saw him talking with the eldest sister of the victim of that case, Miss Callisto Yu, even though that's not her real name, apparently. I wonder if there was a connection between his murder and the KG8 incident. The knife again, or... Is this knife the murder weapon? Some preliminary testing has been conducted. According to the results, the blood on that matches the victim's blood. The blade shape was also found to be consistent with the stab wound. I suppose this means that we now know that the crime was committed with this knife.
This knife's got some really fancy ornamentation going on, huh, sir? This thing practically screams artsy at me, too. Although, it's also covered in blood, just like the last thing that I said was artsy.
But that handle is pristine. There's not a single drop of blood on it. Speaking of the handle, I believe it has a butterfly motif. It's very beautiful.
Oh, really? Okay. Got some logicking to do. Alright, the motif and the butterfly of the ball. Let's connect that. And whoosh! The design on the knife's handle. It greatly resembles the special Bobolese species of butterfly.
It does, doesn't it? Plus it says right here.
This knife is property of the Republic of Bobol. Perhaps this means that the knife used in the crime was found right in this room. Okay. Can't prove anything about her return yet. I'm sorry, Kay. We'll save you in a minute. Gotta keep looking around. Can't go past here, looks like. How dare you? Let me through, you bastard. Sorry, but Interpol is still conducting its investigation beyond this point. I'm a subordinate of Miss Von Karma. Is there some reason why I'm being denied access? My superior clearly stated, don't you dare let anyone near the site, you got it? If I let you examine the site, my superior would get really angry at me. Probably bite my head off.
You know, Mr. Edgeworth, I feel really bad for the guy, so why don't we do as he says?
Yes, I suppose we might as well. So we can't look at any of this? Oh, maybe we can?
That's some fireplace. You know, it really gives this place a mansion-like quality, don't you think, sir? Ooh, if these are a staple in every Bobolese house, then I bet Santa Claus pays them a visit, too.
Just how old are you again, detective?
Alright, let's look at this safe that's right here. A small personal safe.
This was Mr. Cochin's office. So perhaps he stored his most important documents in here.
Oh, of course it's locked. It appears we won't be able to open it without the key. Does he have the key on him? We already looked. Right? Are we missing? Let's just talk to him, because I don't think there's anything else we can do right there. Cadopia. Ambassador Palino, I was wondering if I may ask you about Cadopia. Cadopia? Alright, what would you like to know? First, I'd like to ask you about this key. What about this key? I found it sticking out of Mr. Cochin's pocket. I believe it originally belonged to this embassy, is that correct? Upon closer inspection, it seems that this key is shaped like a butterfly. Stings like a bee. That's not all about this key. It's also capable of changing into a knife. Who the hell designed it this way? Oh, how fascinating. Is it possible that the ambassador didn't know about the existence of this key? In its knife form, there is a flower mark at the base of the blade. I guess this knife might be from when we used to be a part of Cadopia. And how did you come to that conclusion? It has both of Cadopia's national symbols, the butterfly and the flower. I suppose Manny used this key here at the embassy back when we were still Cadopia. The key was stolen from the Cadopian embassy 7 years ago by the Yatagarasu. Okay.
Ambassador Peleno, this key was stolen from the Cadopian embassy 7 years ago by Callisto Yu, otherwise known as the Great Thief Yatagarasu.
Oh, really? You were not aware that Miss Yu had broken into this embassy at that time? I'm sorry, I can't be of much help. I'm not very familiar with the details, you see. I only became the ambassador after Babal became its own independent nation. But if Manny were still alive, he would probably know about what happened back then. So, Mr. Cochin and Miss Yu knew each other 7 years ago. But that doesn't explain why I found the Otagarasu's key here in the present. Alright. Is there anything we can present to you? What about the statue?
This statue resembles that hero, the Steel Samurai, don't you think?
Uh-oh. Edgeworth, did you find a fanboy buddy?
I was thinking, what would you say to changing its name to the Steel Samurai statue? It just might attract a few more tourists to our country if I did, right?
I'm not sure what to think. I thought that thing was a national treasure. Although, the Steel Samurai is a national treasure of its own, so... Alright, well... I don't know. Logic? What did we get? We got the locked safe and the key. Ah, okay. Let's connect those. And... whoosh! We know for a fact that the Otagarasu's key was used at this embassy. Furthermore, we found it in the victim Mr. Cochin's pocket. Which leads me to think that perhaps it is the key to the personal safe in this office.
Good thinking, sir. Let's go try it out.
Alright. It appears I was correct. The key that was left to us in the victim's pocket, it literally turned out to be the key to the next piece of the truth. What do we have here?
Hey, there's nothing inside. Do you think the Yatagarasu made off with everything, sir?
What do you mean there's nothing inside, fool? I see that. You can't be blind. Come on, man. No, detective. I believe all we need is a closer look. Yes, every nook and cranny, like literally, in this case. I see a nook and cranny here, but let's look here, really quick.
Hey, there's a hole here, sir.
It's a little too oddly shaped for a latch hole.
Wow, that's a funny shape for a latch hole, huh? It's shaped kinda like a star, don't you think, sir?
Detective, I would hardly call that shape a star. There must be some reason for this hole.
Well, there's gotta be some reason why this hole is shaped so weirdly, you know?
Am I overthinking this? No, I don't think so.
Maybe I'm overthinking things? Nah, there's no way I could ever do that.
Detective Gumshoe, could you please be quiet for a second? You're frightening me. He's like reading his mind. It's so scary. That's what happens when you're like best friends forever, you know? I don't think there's anything else of note in here other than the paper, so. What is this here?
It looks like the ripped corner of a piece of paper, sir.
No, I don't think it's ripped. It seems more to me like it's stuck in the safe.
Hey, you're right. It won't budge an inch. Not even when I tug on it. But I don't think I've ever seen paper stuck on the inside of a safe before.
Detective, I think you have it backwards. It's not the paper that's strange. It's the safe.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that the secret to this safe is that it has a crack there, it's completely empty. Now it has 2 compartments. Even just eyeballing it, you can see that the inside is a bit too shallow. Furthermore, with the unnatural way the paper is stuck at the back of the safe, I'd say that there's an extra bit of space behind the back wall of the safe. In other words, this safe has a second compartment.
What?
I suppose that you are correct in asserting that this paper is stuck in an unnatural manner. However, if what you say is correct, and there is a second compartment, how do we go about opening the door to it then? As you can see, there is no other lock or keyhole in sight.
Franziska, are you blind, girl? It's right there. Actually, there is one more spot of interest to me on this safe.
Oh?
Yes, and I believe that spot is the keyhole to our mystery second lock.
The safe and its locks. Alright then, since you are so sure of yourself, show me how you deduced your answer.
My god, it's right there. It is literally right there in front of you. But you know what? We'll do that in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. And until next time, have a nice day. Bye-bye.